radio. Now she energy. She's never had pears before? My little skit. It's not. I like this again. This usually works. I don't know what the deal is.
Why? Well, actually, I'm not really sure. You have any idea,
Really?
Big Mike? I'm gonna watch out for something. Be right back.
I understand outhouses have somewhere to wash up. What?
Well, Goldie, we were hoping you could tell us.
Windows app crashing thing is getting really old really fast. I need to find a new app.
Was your mom who convinced me to pursue baking? What isn't your name, Mrs. Cake? Not always. Back when I was Chiffon Swirl.
Wait. Chiffon Swirl? Wait, is her first name still Chiffon? Well, so this raises a lot of questions about My Little Pony family names. Like, a lot of questions. More space.
The pears are moving.
Oh.
We're gonna need one more pony to tell that story.
Really?
Mayor, you know our parents?
What?
Not as well as Miss.
I'd say something about the mayor's main color, but I think we've seen this before.
Officiated secret wedding, and it was perfect. Right back knew Buttercup wouldn't want to
Elope?
get splash. Reminds me of some pony else I know.
Elope?
Good time. It seems to me that now's as good a time as any to talk to both our grandparents.
There's still one thing that's missing from the story.
Now that we're all together, there's something we want to show you. Mom and Dad left us something to remember them by. Come on.
Remember them by, huh? So, there's still one question on my mind here, because, well, I guess I should probably share my thoughts on the episode first before I get into this. So yeah, that was a pretty good episode, I guess. I'm not really a fan of love stories, so like, I can't fairly criticize or rate this episode because it's just not my genre, honestly. I mean, it was a decent story, but it's just not my genre. I just don't think I can fairly rate this one because I don't like love stories. They're kind of just, mushy and stuff, and I just realized my camera was a bit tilted there. So yeah, good episode. I mean, if I were going to rate it, I'd probably give it at least a 3.5 out of 5. It's just not my genre, honestly. So yeah, Applejack's parents, we finally get to see them. But we don't know what happened to them. It's like they vaguely imply it again, but they just come just this close to saying it. But they never say what happened to them. They just said, remember them by. Which, like, either they went somewhere, or they are in fact dead. I mean, there was pretty much no other way around it. It's just like with Scootaloo. She's either an orphan, or her parents are never around. There's still that tiniest hint of ambiguity. Why can't I pronounce that word? ambiguity, whatever. You know what I mean, but like just they're playing it too safe. It's like I know this is a cartoon aimed at 3+, but I really think that they shouldn't be coddling littler kids like this. If they're old enough to understand the words that the characters are saying, they're old enough to understand what death is, I think. But that's just my opinion, honestly. I just think I'm just not a fan of coddling younger kids or just coddling children in general. I think that children have a right to know about this kind of stuff. It's just I'm pretty sure there's been some shows for younger kids that talk about the issues of death and stuff like that. Like I think PBS shows have talked about it before. Maybe they tread lightly around the subject, I'm sure still, but it's something that they have actually talked about. I'm entirely certain about it. I mean, Sesame Street has been going on for so very long. I highly doubt they've never talked about death before.
Mr. Hooper died. Mr. Hooper died.
Mr. Hooper died.
And I'm pretty sure Sesame Street is still going, too. It's amazing, really, when I think about it, but that's not relevant. But, yeah, it's just, they need to say what happened to them for once. Just for once. We could finally find out what happened to Applejack's parents and where the heck Scootaloos are for a change. I mean, with the other Cutie Mark Crusaders, too, they share parents with members of the main six that we've now already seen in this very season, within just a span of a couple of episodes, no less. So, are we going to see Scootaloo's parents anytime soon? I mean, it's not going to happen this season, I don't think, if I recall correctly, but, I just think that they need to talk about these things. It's just, you can't just, and then not talk about them. Not talk about what happened to them. You introduced her parents, which is great. We finally get to see who her parents are. But you just came this close to telling us what happened to them. What happened to them? Where did they go? People want to know. Kids aren't stupid. Even in the target demographics age range, kids are not that stupid. They will want to know what happened to Applejack's parents. Because it's unusual, especially for kids who have nuclear families. It's unusual to them that Applejack's parents aren't around, and they're going to want to know why Applejack's parents aren't around. Kids aren't stupid. They're going to realize that it's unusual for Applejack's parents not be around. You can't just show the parents. I'm video length limit somehow. I think the text is all blocky because this app is barely working right now, but I think that's all I really have to say. Just, they came this close. They came this close. Until next time, stay determined.